The awakening. Pain was the first sensation Commander Maya Rivera felt as consciousness returned to her body, a deep, aching cold that seemed etched into her bones. Her eyes fluttered open, struggling against a film of ice crystals that had formed on her eyelashes. The world around her was a blur of dim blue lights and swirling mist. Cryostasis termination sequence complete. Vital signs stabilizing. "Welcome back, Commander Rivera," announced a synthetic voice that Maya recognized as HFY, the facility's AI system. Maya tried to speak, but her throat was parched, her lips cracked from millennia of disuse. A mechanical arm extended a tube of water toward her mouth, which she drank greedily. As the cool liquid touched her throat, memories flooded back. The war, Earth's imminent destruction, Operation Rebirth, the desperate gamble to preserve humanity's finest warriors. She finally managed to croak. Status report. "Commander Rivera, you have been in cryostasis for 50,273 years, exceeding the planned duration by 49,273 years. Maya's mind struggled to process this information. 50,000 years. That couldn't be right. "Explain," she ordered, her voice growing stronger with each word. "A catastrophic power surge damaged the revival protocols shortly after initialization. The facility entered extended preservation mode. I maintained minimal systems until backup power capacitors reached optimal threshold for revival." As Maya's vision cleared, she saw she was in an enormous chamber filled with thousands of cryopods, each containing a sleeping soldier. Her unit, the 121st Adaptive Combat Division, 10,000 of Earth's most elite warriors, scientists, and specialists. "The others?" she asked, struggling to sit up. "All cryopods remain intact. Life signs present in 99.7% of units." Maya swung her legs over the edge of her pod, noticing the layer of dust that covered everything. Her muscles screamed in protest as she stood for the first time in 50 millennia. "Show me Earth, Araya." A large holographic display materialized before her, showing satellite imagery of Earth. But it was an Earth Maya barely recognized. The continents had shifted slightly, the coastlines were different, and strange angular structures dominated the landscape, gleaming with an unearthly blue light. "Current planetary situation?" Maya asked, steadying herself against her pod. "Earth is currently under the control of a non-terrestrial species known as the Nexeri. They arrived approximately 2,000 years ago and have established complete dominance over the planet. Indigenous human populations have been subjugated and reduced to approximately 500 million individuals, primarily used for labor and resource extraction." The display shifted to show tall, slender beings with iridescent scales and six-fingered hands. Their eyes were large, completely black, and devoid of visible pupils. The Nexeri possessed technology approximately 800 years more advanced than pre-cryostasis Earth civilization. They maintain a rigid case system and have converted 62% of Earth's surface to their environmental preferences. Maya studied the images with a tactician's eye, analyzing what she saw. Different, alien, but with recognizable patterns of civilization and control. "Indigenous humans?" she asked, her voice hardening. "Surviving human populations exist in segregated zones, primarily in subterranean settlements and designated labor sectors. Resistance movements have been systematically eliminated throughout Nexeri occupation." Maya straightened her back. 50,000 years. Everyone she had known was long dead. The world she had sworn to protect was gone, replaced by something alien and oppressive. But her duty remained. "Begin revival sequence for Command Staff Alpha. Lieutenant Choi first, then Dr. Patel and Captain Rodriguez." "Acknowledged, Commander," Araya replied as it initiated the revival protocols. Maya moved to a storage unit and retrieved her uniform, still perfectly preserved. The insignia of the 121st Division was prominent on the shoulder, a phoenix rising from Earth's ashes with a sword clutched in its talons. Araya prepare tactical assessment of our defensive capabilities, and run diagnostics on all weapon systems. The facility's automated defense systems are operational at 78% capacity. Weapon systems remain intact, though significantly outdated by current technological standards. As Maya dressed, the hiss of another cryopod opening told her she would soon have company. She turned to see Lieutenant Kai Choi sitting up, disoriented but alive. "Commander," he asked, confusion evident in his voice. "Did it work? Did we save Earth?" Maya's expression was grim. "We're about to find out, Lieutenant, but one thing's for certain. Earth needs us now more than ever." 3 days later, Maya stood in the facility's command center with her revived senior staff. Over 500 of her soldiers had now been awakened, each processing the shocking truth of their situation in their own way. "The Nexari have established a rigid global infrastructure," Lieutenant Choi explained, pointing to the holographic display of Earth. "They've divided the planet into 12 administrative sectors, each controlled by a regional governor reporting to their high archon." Dr. Annika Patel, the division's chief scientist, manipulated the display to zoom in on one of the labor zones. "They've enslaved what remains of humanity. From what ARIA has gathered through passive satellite reconnaissance, humans are used primarily for resource extraction and manual labor that the Nexari consider beneath them." "Do they know we're here?" asked Captain Elena Rodriguez, head of tactical operations. "Negative," Maya replied. "Our facility is buried 2 kilometers beneath the Rocky Mountains, and our power signature is masked by the mineral deposits surrounding us. But that won't last forever. Once we start moving people and equipment to the surface, we'll be detected." "Then we need a plan before that happens," said Rodriguez. "A direct confrontation would be suicide. Their technology is centuries beyond ours." "Maybe not," interrupted Dr. Patel. "I've been analyzing the Nexari's communication patterns. They rely heavily on a network of orbital relay stations for their global operations. If we could disrupt that network, even temporarily, we could create enough chaos to establish contact with the human resistance," Choi finished. Maya nodded. "First, we need intelligence. ARIA, do any of our stealth drones remain operational?" "Affirmative, Commander. 26 Mark VII stealth reconnaissance drones are available. However, their stealth technology may be inadequate against current Nexari detection systems. We'll take that risk. Program 3 drones to conduct high-altitude reconnaissance of the nearest human settlement. Keep them at maximum stealth protocols." "Acknowledged." Maya turned to her team. "Continue reviving our people. Priority to special forces, communication specialists, and medical personnel. Dr. Patel, I want you to analyze everything we can learn about Nexari technology. Captain Rodriguez, prepare a strike team. Once we locate potential human allies, we'll need to make contact quickly and quietly." The team dispersed to carry out their orders. Maya remained in the command center, studying the images of the changed Earth. Their odds were terrible, but humanity had faced extinction before and survived. They would do so again. 12 hours later, ARIA announced, "Commander, drone reconnaissance has identified a human settlement 27 kilometers northwest of our position. Unusual energy readings suggest technology not consistent with standard Nexari-controlled areas." "Show me," Maya ordered. The display shifted to show a canyon system with carefully concealed entrances. Heat signatures indicated a substantial underground complex. "Resistance fighters," Rodriguez suggested. "Or a trap," Choi countered. "The Nexari have had thousands of years to perfect their control. They could be using free humans as bait." Maya considered their options. "We need to make contact. Captain, prepare your strike team. Minimum footprint, non-lethal approaches only. These are our people, regardless of how many generations have passed." 24 hours later, Maya stood at the entrance to the facility's vehicle bay, watching as Captain Rodriguez's team prepared for departure. 6 soldiers in advanced stealth combat suits checked their equipment while Dr. Patel made final adjustments to their communication devices. Remember, Maya addressed the team. This is a reconnaissance mission. Observe, make contact if possible, but do not engage hostiles unless absolutely necessary. We need allies, not casualties. Rodriguez nodded. Understood, Commander. We'll be back before sunrise. The team departed in 2 stealth transport vehicles, their electric engines nearly silent as they navigated the ancient access tunnel that would take them to the surface. For the first time in 50,000 years, humans from Operation Rebirth would walk on Earth's surface again. Maya returned to the command center to monitor the mission. Hours passed in tense silence as Rodriguez's team made their way to the settlement. Finally, Rodriguez's voice came through the comm system. Commander, we've made contact. You're not going to believe this. Report, Captain, Maya ordered. They're called the Unbroken. They're a human resistance movement that's been operating in secret for over 3 centuries. And Commander, they have legends about us. They've been waiting for Operation Rebirth to awaken. They call us the Sleeping Army. Maya exchanged shocked glances with Choi. Bring their leaders back to the facility. Full security protocols, but treat them as honored guests. 6 hours later, Maya stood face to face with Eric Voss, leader of the Unbroken. He was tall and lean, with dark skin marked by faint bioluminescent tattoos, an adaptation Maya hadn't seen before in humans. His eyes widened as he looked around the command center. It's real, he whispered. All of it. The stories passed down through generations. The Sleeping Army, the Phoenix Fortress. We believed, but to see it with my own eyes. We have much to discuss, Maya said. Your people have been fighting the Nexeri for centuries. We've been asleep for 50,000 years. We need to understand what we're facing. Eric nodded. The Nexeri came when our civilization was still recovering from what our histories call the Great Collapse. They presented themselves as saviors, offering technology and knowledge. By the time humanity realized their true intentions, it was too late. They've ruled Earth ever since. Yet your people resist, Choi observed. We are the descendants of those who refuse to submit, Eric explained with pride. For millennia, we've preserved what it means to be human, waiting for the right moment to reclaim our world. Our ancestors left records of Operation Rebirth, a final contingency plan, a sleeping army of Earth's greatest warriors who would one day return to free humanity. Maya felt the weight of 50,000 years of hope resting on her shoulders. We are only 10,000, she said quietly, against an entire planet of advanced aliens. Eric smiled. But you are the unbroken link to Earth's past glory. Your awakening was foretold. Already, word spreads through the resistance networks. Hope, Commander Rivera, you've brought something the Nexeri have spent millennia trying to extinguish. Maya looked around at her team, at the representatives of the Unbroken, and felt something she hadn't expected to feel upon awakening in this alien future. Purpose. Then let's not keep them waiting any longer, she said. It's time humanity remembered how to fight back. The resurgence. Dawn broke over the rugged landscape as Maya stood atop a ridge overlooking what had once been Denver. The city was now an alien metropolis, its architecture a disturbing blend of geometric precision and organic curves. Nexeri patrol ships glided silently through the air, their hull designs reminiscent of manta rays. Their central processing hub is there, Eric said, pointing to a massive crystalline structure at the city center. It controls all Nexeri operations in this sector, including the labor camps where they keep our people. Maya studied the city through binoculars. 2 weeks had passed since their first contact with the Unbroken. In that time, they had awakened 3,000 more soldiers from cryosleep, established a secure communication network with resistance cells across the continent, and developed the beginnings of a strategy. Their technology is impressive, observed Dr. Patel, who stood beside Maya. But it has weaknesses. The Nexeri are completely dependent on their communication network. They function almost like a hive mind, incapable of significant independent action when disconnected. That's our way in, Maya concluded, We disrupt their network, create confusion, and extract as many humans from the labor camps as possible before they can reorganize. Captain Rodriguez approached with Lieutenant Choi and Circa, an unexpected ally. Circa belonged to a species called the Verdani, former servants of the Nexari who had rebelled a century ago and now lived as nomads in Earth's less hospitable regions. The Verdani were tall, with 4 arms and skin that could change color to match their surroundings, natural chameleons. The tunnels are confirmed, Rodriguez reported. The Unbroken's maps are accurate. We can move 500 troops beneath the city without detection. And our distraction? Maya asked. Circa's skin rippled with blue patterns, an expression of confidence. My people have placed disruptors at all 7 relay stations surrounding the city. When activated, they will create a cascade failure in the Nexari communication grid. The effect will last approximately 30 Earth minutes. That's our window, Maya said. Lieutenant Choi, status of our weapon systems. We've adapted our pulse rifles to match Nexari shield frequencies, Choi reported. The Verdani data was invaluable. Our first strike teams are equipped and ready. Maya nodded, her mind racing through the final details of their plan. This would be the first direct confrontation between her forces and the Nexari, a test of whether humanity's ancient warriors could stand against an enemy with technology centuries beyond their own. Dr. Patel, what about Project Lazarus? Ready for deployment, Commander. Once we secure the central processing hub, I can upload the virus directly into their mainframe. It should spread throughout their entire global network within hours. Maya took a deep breath. All right. We move at nightfall. Remember, our primary objective is to free as many humans as possible and secure the processing hub. We need to show the world that the Nexari can be defeated. As darkness fell, Maya led her strike force through the ancient sewer systems beneath the alien city. 500 soldiers moved in perfect silence, their advanced combat suits a blend of 50,000-year-old technology and modifications inspired by present-day resistance innovations. Above ground, the Unbroken had positioned themselves around the labor camps, ready to guide the freed humans to safety once the operation began. The Verdani scouts provided real-time intelligence, their natural camouflage abilities allowing them to move freely among the Nexari. 2 minutes to synchronization, Choi whispered, checking the tactical display on his wrist. Maya signaled to her team, and they took their positions beneath key access points throughout the city. She activated her neural link to Araya, who was coordinating the entire operation from the facility. All teams in position, Araya confirmed. Verdani disruptors armed and ready. Unbroken extraction teams standing by. Execute, Maya ordered. Across the city, 7 Verdani-designed disruptors simultaneously activated, sending electromagnetic pulses precisely calibrated to the Nexari communication frequency. The effect was immediate and dramatic. Above ground, Nexari patrol ships faltered in midair, their pilots suddenly cut off from the central command. Security systems flickered and died as the communication network collapsed. Move now, Maya commanded. Her strike force erupted from beneath the city, emerging from maintenance tunnels and drainage systems. They moved with precision toward their designated targets, Maya's team heading for the central processing hub, while other squads made for the labor camps. The Nexari response was chaotic. Without their communication network, individual Nexari struggled to coordinate. Their natural telepathic abilities, enhanced by technology, had become a critical weakness. For generations, they had relied so heavily on their network that they had lost the ability to function effectively without it. Maya's team encountered the first resistance at the entrance to the processing hub. A squad of Nexari security forces fired energy weapons that sent blue pulses of destructive force toward them. Shields up, Maya ordered, activating her tactical barrier. The ancient human technology, enhanced by Dr. Patel's modifications, absorbed the energy blasts. Return fire, non-lethal protocols, she commanded. Her soldiers fired their adapted pulse rifles. The weapons discharged electromagnetic bursts that overloaded the Nexari nervous systems, rendering them unconscious without killing them. Maya had insisted on this approach. They would not begin their resistance by matching the Nexari's historical brutality. They fought their way through the facility, floor by floor, until they reached the central chamber. Here, a dozen Nexari technicians worked frantically to restore their network. "Secure the room," Maya ordered. Her soldiers moved swiftly, disabling the Nexari without a single casualty. Dr. Patel rushed to the central terminal. "I need 5 minutes to upload Project Lazarus," she said, connecting her device to the alien interface. "You have 3, Maya replied, positioning her team to defend the entrances. Status on the labor camp extractions. Proceeding ahead of schedule, Araya reported through their neural links. 87% of Camp Alpha evacuated, Camps Beta and Gamma at 62%. Resistance minimal. Maya allowed herself a moment of hope. Their first strike was succeeding beyond expectations. The Nexari, for all their technological advantages, had never faced an enemy like the 121st Division. Soldiers trained to adapt, to overcome, to achieve victory regardless of the odds. "Upload complete," Dr. Patil announced. Project Lazarus is now spreading through their system. Project Lazarus was a virus, designed by Dr. Patil, using both ancient human programming and insights gained from studying Nexari technology. It wouldn't destroy their systems, that would be detected and purged too quickly. Instead, it would subtly alter their communication protocols, creating vulnerabilities that ARIA could exploit and unpredictable malfunctions that would sow confusion and distrust among the Nexari. "Time to leave," Maya ordered. "All teams, begin extraction." They fought their way back through the facility and into the tunnels below as the Nexari began to recover from the initial disruption. By the time the aliens had restored partial communications, Maya's forces had vanished, taking with them over 8,000 humans from the labor camps. 3 days later, Maya stood in a vast underground cavern that served as the main gathering place for the Unbroken. Around her, thousands of newly freed humans were receiving medical attention, food, and for the first time in their lives, education about their true heritage. "They're calling it the Night of Liberation," Eric said, approaching Maya. "Word has spread to resistance cells across the planet. The Nexari are in disarray, their communications compromised by your virus. They've never experienced anything like this. It's just the beginning," Maya replied. "The Nexari have ruled Earth for 2,000 years. They won't surrender it because of one defeat. But you've shown that they can be defeated," Circa said, joining them. The Verdani's skin rippled with patterns of gold and green, colors that indicated deep respect in their culture. For generations, both humans and Verdani believed the Nexari to be invincible. "You've shattered that myth in a single night." Maya nodded thoughtfully. "We've gained valuable intelligence from this operation. The Nexari's dependence on their communication network is even more pronounced than we anticipated. And there's something else, something we observed during the fighting. Their physical vulnerability," Dr. Patel said, approaching with data tablets. "The Nexari evolved on a planet with much lower oxygen levels than Earth. They've modified our atmosphere to suit their needs, but in areas where we restored Earth's original atmospheric composition, they showed signs of oxygen toxicity. A weakness we can exploit," Maya confirmed. "If we can access their atmospheric processors, we can make Earth hostile to them without harming humans," Patel finished. "It would force them to retreat to their environmentally controlled strongholds, giving us control of most of the planet," Choi added. Maya surveyed the cavern, watching as her soldiers from the distant past interacted with humans of the present. Despite 50,000 years of separation, they were finding common ground, sharing stories, building bonds. "The Nexari believe they conquered Earth," she said quietly, "but they never understood what it means to be human. We adapt. We endure. We never stop fighting for our freedom." She turned to her team, her expression resolute. Prepare the next phase. It's time to show the Nexari that humanity has awakened, and we're taking back our world. Across the planet, as word spread of the successful strike against the alien overlords, humans in labor camps began to whisper about the sleeping army, the warriors from Earth's ancient past who had returned as promised. Hope, long suppressed by generations of oppression, began to flicker back to life. And in orbit above Earth, on the Nexari command carrier, the High Archon received the disturbing reports with growing alarm. For the first time, in the 2,000 years since their arrival, something had changed. Something unexpected and dangerous. Humanity was fighting back.